James dropped his last box onto the apartment floor with a heavy sigh. The place was small, just a one-bedroom with peeling wallpaper and a kitchen too cramped for comfort, but it was his, a fresh start. He had left behind everything, his hometown, his ex, even his old number, a chance to disappear, to be somewhere no one knew his name. Outside, the city buzzed with life. Inside, the apartment was eerily silent, except for the occasional creak of the wooden floors. He chalked it up to the building being old. That night, exhaustion took over quickly. He collapsed onto his bed, phone in hand, aimlessly scrolling until sleep finally pulled him under. It must have been hours later when he woke. A strange sensation crept up his spine, like he wasn't alone. His phone was still in his hand, screen dimly glowing. The time read 3:14 a.m. He blinked, adjusting his eyes to the dark. That's when he saw it. A shadow in the hallway. It wasn't moving. It wasn't shaped like furniture. It was tall. Too tall. A dark silhouette standing perfectly still. His breath hitched. His heart pounded in his ears. He reached for his bedside lamp, fumbling in the dark. Click. The light flickered on. The hallway was empty. Nothing. No shadow. No one. His body relaxed, but his mind didn't. He grabbed his phone, turning the brightness up. Maybe he had just been dreaming, caught in that weird half-asleep state. That's when he saw the notification. New message. Unknown number. His stomach twisted. With hesitant fingers, he tapped it open. One attachment. A photo. His own apartment. Taken from inside. The angle. It was from the hallway. From the spot where the shadow had been standing. James felt a chill crawl over his skin. His hands shook as he gripped the phone. The photo was time-stamped 3:14 a.m. He had been asleep, or at least, he thought he had been. The silence in the room suddenly felt heavier. His breath came in shallow, uneven gasps. He turned his head slowly, his eyes drifting toward the hallway once more. Darkness, emptiness, nothing there. But his gut told him otherwise. Somewhere in the black void of the hall, something was watching. And now, it knew he had seen it. James stared at the photo on his phone, his skin crawling. The hallway was empty now, but the image on the screen told a different story. Someone or something had been standing there, watching him. His hands trembled as he typed out a reply. Me. Who is this? 3 dots appeared instantly. Typing. Then, unknown number. Close your curtains. I don't like when you look at me. A chill ran through him. His curtains were already closed. He turned his head, his breath shaky. They were open now. Just an inch. Just enough for someone, or something, to see inside. His stomach twisted. Had they been open before? Had he forgotten to close them? His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I can see you. The air in the room grew heavier. James felt an overwhelming urge not to turn around. He wasn't alone. James sat frozen, his phone clutched tight in his hands. His chest rose and fell in shallow, uneven breaths. The message lingered on his screen. I can see you. A chill traced his spine. His mind raced through possibilities. Prank, hack, something worse. Then, a sound. Knock, knock. Soft, deliberate. His entire body stiffened. The sound hadn't come from the door. It came from the window. His stomach dropped. He lived on the 3rd floor. Slowly, he turned his head. The curtains were still cracked, just an inch. Just enough. The streetlights outside cast faint shadows against the glass. He couldn't see anyone. But that didn't mean no one was there. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Why did you ignore me? James's breath hitched. His pulse hammered in his ears. He couldn't move, couldn't think. Knock, knock, knock. This time louder. His phone buzzed again. A new message, an attachment. His shaking fingers hesitated before tapping it open. It was a video. Of his room. Of him, asleep in bed. But in the corner of the screen, barely visible in the darkness, something moved. James's stomach twisted. The figure wasn't outside. It was inside, watching. James's fingers felt numb as he gripped his phone. His own breath sounded deafening in the silence. The video played on loop. Him, sleeping. And in the darkness of the room, a figure moved. Not fast, not sudden. Just a slow, unnatural shift from the shadows. A presence that had been there the whole time. His stomach twisted. He scanned the room, his eyes darting to every darkened corner. Nothing. But that didn't mean he was alone. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. You looked for me. A lump formed in his throat. His hand hovered over the screen. Me. Who are you? What do you want? 3 dots appeared, typing. Then, unknown number. I don't like to be seen. James's skin prickled. He swallowed hard, his hand tightening into a fist. His phone vibrated again. Another attachment. A still image. It was his room. The photo had been taken just seconds ago. James was in the frame, sitting on his bed, holding his phone. And behind him, a shadow. Not a reflection, not a trick of the light. It was standing there, watching. Close. James sucked in a breath, his heart hammering. The light above him flickered. The air felt thicker, pressing against his skin. He didn't dare turn around. His phone buzzed one last time. Unknown number. I'm closer than you think. The lamp beside him went out. James sat in the dark, his body locked in place. His breath came in short, uneven gasps. The screen of his phone was the only light left. I'm closer than you think. The words stared back at him. His fingers trembled over the screen, but he couldn't type. What could he even say? A faint sound broke the silence. A soft creak from across the room. His stomach twisted. He wasn't alone. Slowly, his eyes drifted to the mirror on the far wall. His silhouette sat hunched on the bed, phone in hand. But something was wrong. His reflection wasn't moving. James swallowed hard. His hands shook as he slowly lifted his phone, angling the screen toward the mirror. The glow from the screen illuminated his reflection. It sat there, still. Too still. Then, the reflection's head tilted. James didn't move. The thing in the mirror smiled. A slow, unnatural grin that spread too wide across its face. His breath caught in his throat. Then, the reflection stood up. James didn't. He was still sitting frozen on the bed. But the version of him in the mirror was moving, walking toward him. His phone vibrated violently in his hand. A new message. Unknown number. Let me out. The mirror cracked. A thin, jagged fracture ran from top to bottom, like a spider web forming across the glass. The air in the room grew heavy, the pressure pushed against his chest. James wanted to run, to move, to do anything. But his reflection took another step forward. Another crack splintered across the mirror. James's phone buzzed one last time. Unknown number. Open the door. The reflection raised its hand, but not to wave. It was pressing against the other side of the glass. The cracks deepened. And then, the light flickered back on. The mirror was normal again. No cracks. No reflection staring back at him with that wrong smile. James gasped for air, his chest rising and falling rapidly. Had he imagined it? His phone screen was dark. The messages were gone. Everything was normal. At least, until he noticed the smudged handprint on the glass. Not on the outside, on the inside. James didn't sleep. He couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw it. The reflection that wasn't his. The cracks in the mirror. The handprint. He needed to talk to someone. To hear a real voice. He grabbed his phone and dialed his best friend, Kyle. The line rang once, twice, then clicked. A moment of silence. Then, James? Kyle's voice sounded off, stretched, hollow, like a recording being played slightly too slow. James hesitated. Kyle? Why are you running? His blood ran cold. His grip on the phone tightened. I'm not running. The line crackled. You should be. Then a laugh, distorted, choking, glitching. James hung up. His hands were shaking so bad he nearly dropped the phone. A new message popped up. Unknown number. You shouldn't have called. A fresh wave of terror crashed over him. Then, a knock at the door. James stared at it, frozen. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Don't answer. Knock, knock, louder this time. Then, the handle started to turn. James backed away from the door. The handle twisted violently, rattling like someone, or something, was trying to break in. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Turn off the lights. No way. He wasn't about to sit in the dark with this thing. The door suddenly stopped shaking. Silence. James took a shaky breath. Maybe it was over. Click. The light flickered. The air turned thick, suffocating. A shadow stretched across the floor, slithering under the door. It wasn't a person's shadow. It moved on its own. James's body locked up. His phone vibrated. A new message. Unknown number. I see you. The light went out. Darkness swallowed the room. And then, a whisper. Right behind him. James felt the whisper more than he heard it. Cold air brushing against his neck. His body refused to move. The darkness felt alive. He needed to turn the lights back on. He reached for his phone, his fingers shaking. Something grabbed his wrist. A grip like ice, too long, too thin. James yanked away and stumbled, his shoulder slamming against the wall. His phone screen lit up. For a split second, the glow illuminated the room. A face stared back at him. Mouth stretched too wide. Empty, black eyes. The screen went dark again. A breath, not his, brushed against his ear. You let me in! James didn't remember hitting the ground. All he knew was the thing was in the room with him. He scrambled to his feet, blindly feeling for the wall, the light switch. The thing moved. Not footsteps, something dragging. James found the switch and slammed it up. The lights flickered violently. The thing was gone. But the mirror was cracked again. Deep fractures crawled across the glass, spiraling out from the center. A whisper echoed from inside the mirror. Almost time. James turned and ran. The door flung open without resistance, but the hallway wasn't there. There was nothing but blackness, and something was waiting inside it. James didn't have time to think. The darkness in the doorway shifted. Something stepped forward. Not fast, not slow, just certain. He turned and ran toward the window, his only escape. But the moment his fingers touched the glass, everything stopped. Silence. He was back in bed. His heart hammered. Had he blacked out? Had he imagined it all? The mirror was whole again. His phone vibrated. A new message. Unknown number. You should have let me in. James's stomach twisted. He looked around the room. Nothing was out of place. Then he noticed something. The closet door was open, just an inch, just enough, for something to watch. James slowly reached for his phone, heart pounding. Another message. This time, a photo. His room, taken from inside the closet, and in the bottom corner, a smile. The screen flickered, then black.